Life is not a mystery meant to confuse you. It is a puzzle meant to be solved. And like every great puzzle, the pieces are already on the table. The frustration comes not from lack of opportunity, but from not knowing where each piece belongs. The first piece is personal responsibility. The day you stop blaming the weather, the economy, your past, or other people, is the day your life begins to change. Jim Rohn taught us that if you don't like how things are, change you. Because once you accept responsibility, you regain power. You are no longer a victim of circumstances. You become the architect of outcomes. The second piece is discipline. Discipline is not punishment. It is self-respect in action. It is doing what is easy today so that life can be easy tomorrow. Reading when others scroll, practicing when others complain, showing up when motivation disappears. Every disciplined act is a vote for the future you want, and those votes always count. The third piece is goals. Without goals, you drift. With goals, you grow. Goals pull you forward, stretch your thinking, and demand more of you than comfort ever will. A clear goal wakes you up in the morning and keeps you focused when distractions scream for attention. If you don't design your life, someone else's agenda will design it for you. The fourth piece is continuous learning. Formal education may earn you a living, but self-education builds a fortune of character, wisdom, and opportunity. Read books, learn from failures, listen to mentors, even if they speak through pages or recordings. The more you learn, the more valuable you become, and value always finds reward. The fifth piece is character. Success without character is temporary and empty. Character is who you are when no one is watching. It is integrity, patience, humility, and courage combined. Strong character keeps success meaningful and failure instructive. It is the foundation that allows every other piece to stay in place. When these 5 pieces come together, life starts to make sense. Responsibility gives you control. Discipline gives you strength. Goals give you direction. Learning gives you growth. Character gives you peace. The puzzle of life does not require perfection. It requires commitment. Start where you are. Use what you have. Put one piece in place today, then another tomorrow. Over time, the picture becomes clear, and the life you once dreamed about becomes the life you are living. Discipline is the invisible bridge between who you are and who you could become. Most people spend their lives standing on one side of that bridge, dreaming, wishing, hoping, and waiting, not realizing that the bridge does not appear all at once. It is built quietly, one decision at a time. Discipline is not loud. It does not announce itself. It does not demand applause. It works silently in the background while excuses make all the noise. People often think discipline is something harsh, something meant to restrict freedom, but the truth is the exact opposite. Discipline is what creates freedom. The freedom to choose your future instead of reacting to your past. The freedom to wake up with purpose instead of pressure. Every undisciplined choice may feel good in the moment, but it always sends the bill to the future. Discipline pays the price upfront so that tomorrow can breathe easier. The gap between potential and performance is never talent. It is discipline. Talent without discipline is like a powerful engine with no steering wheel. It moves fast, but it crashes. Discipline gives direction to ability. It turns raw potential into consistent results. Anyone can act motivated for a day. Discipline is what keeps you moving on the days when motivation disappears, when no one is watching, when progress feels invisible. Discipline begins with small promises kept to yourself. waking up when you said you would, reading when you promised you would, practicing when quitting would be easier. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, your confidence grows. Every time you break one, it shrinks. Over time, discipline builds trust within you, and that inner trust becomes unshakable strength. Many people wait for life to change before they change. Discipline flips that thinking. It says change yourself first, and life will follow. You don't wait to feel ready. You act your way into readiness. You don't wait for confidence. You build it through disciplined action. Progress does not come from giant dramatic moves. It comes from doing the simple things repeatedly, especially when they are boring. Discipline is choosing long-term gain over short-term pleasure. It is saying no to distractions so you can say yes to direction. The world rewards what is easy today and punishes it tomorrow. Discipline does the opposite. It may feel uncomfortable now, but it pays compound interest over time. A little discipline practiced daily weighs ounces. Regret weighs tons. When discipline becomes part of your identity, life stops feeling chaotic. You stop negotiating with yourself every morning. You stop relying on moods to determine your actions. You decide once, and then you follow through. That clarity removes mental fatigue and replaces it with momentum. Momentum makes everything feel lighter, even the hard work. Discipline also teaches humility. It reminds you that success is earned, not granted. That results are rented, and the rent is due every day. No matter how far you go, discipline keeps you grounded, focused, and aware that growth never ends. The moment discipline disappears, decline quietly begins. People admire results, but they rarely admire the discipline that created them. They see the success, not the early mornings. They see the confidence, not the repetition. They see the victory, not the boring routines. Discipline is lonely at first because it separates you from average behavior. Over time, it attracts respect, opportunities, and self-pride that shortcuts never deliver. The most powerful form of discipline is self-discipline. Not rules forced by others, but standards chosen by you. It is deciding who you will be regardless of circumstances. Weather changes, people change, emotions change, discipline remains steady. It becomes the bridge you cross daily, step by step, moving closer to the person you are capable of becoming, even when the distance feels long, even when progress feels slow. Even when no one is cheering, life becomes clearer the moment you take responsibility for every result you experience. Clarity does not come from answers outside of you. It comes from ownership within you. The instant you stop asking who is at fault and start asking what you can do, confusion begins to fade. Responsibility is the turning point where frustration transforms into focus and excuses lose their power. Most people want change without ownership. They want better results but keep the same habits, the same thinking, and the same reactions. Responsibility challenges that comfort. It forces you to look in the mirror instead of pointing out the window. That moment can feel uncomfortable, but it is also incredibly freeing. When you accept that your choices shape your outcomes, you realize that your future is not trapped by circumstances, but influenced by decisions. Taking responsibility does not mean blaming yourself for everything that goes wrong. It means recognizing that you always have a response, even when you do not have control. You may not control where you started, but you control how you move forward. You may not control what happened to you, but you control what it makes of you. Responsibility shifts your mindset from victim to leader. When you avoid responsibility, life feels heavy and unfair. Everything seems to happen to you. When you accept responsibility, life feels lighter and clearer. You begin to see patterns instead of problems. You understand that results are signals, not punishments. Poor results are feedback asking for growth. Good results are confirmation that your actions are aligned. Either way, responsibility turns life into a teacher instead of an enemy. Responsibility sharpens your awareness. You start noticing how small decisions create big outcomes. What you read, who you listen to, how you spend your time, what you tolerate, what you avoid. Nothing feels random anymore. Life becomes a series of cause and effect moments that you can influence with intention. That awareness alone puts you ahead of most people. Many people fear responsibility because they think it adds pressure. In reality, it removes it. Blame is exhausting. Complaining drains energy. Waiting for others to change keeps you stuck. Responsibility hands that energy back to you. It says you don't need permission to improve your life. You don't need perfect conditions. You need commitment. Once you take responsibility, your standards rise. You stop accepting excuses from yourself. You stop lowering expectations to avoid disappointment. You realize that discipline, growth, and consistency are not punishments but tools. Responsibility teaches you that success is not about luck showing up, but preparation meeting opportunity. Responsibility also builds confidence. Real confidence does not come from praise. It comes from reliability, knowing that you will do what needs to be done even when it is uncomfortable, knowing that if something goes wrong, you will adjust instead of quit. That inner certainty cannot be shaken by opinions, criticism, or temporary failure. As responsibility grows, blame disappears. You stop blaming time, age, background, or other people. You understand that blaming others gives them control over your emotions and outcomes. Responsibility takes that control back. It allows you to respond calmly instead of reacting emotionally. It turns setbacks into strategy instead of stress. Life becomes simpler when you take responsibility because you stop overcomplicating things. You stop asking why life is unfair and start asking how to improve. You stop waiting for motivation and start acting with intention. You stop hoping for change and start creating it. That simplicity creates momentum, and momentum creates belief. Responsibility does not promise an easy life. It promises a meaningful one. It does not remove challenges, but it removes confusion. You always know where to look when something needs to change. You look at your habits, your mindset, your effort. That clarity gives you direction even in uncertain times. When you fully accept responsibility, you no longer fear results because results no longer define your worth. They guide your growth. Win or lose, succeed or fail, you stay in control of your next step. That is real freedom. The freedom to choose your response, your direction, and your future with clear eyes and steady purpose. Small daily choices quietly shape a destiny that looks like luck from the outside. Most people admire success as if it were a sudden event, a fortunate break, or a gift reserved for a few. What they rarely see is the accumulation of ordinary decisions repeated for years. Luck is often nothing more than consistency wearing a disguise. Every day presents hundreds of small choices that seem insignificant in the moment. whether to wake up on time or hit snooze, whether to learn something new or consume something familiar, whether to speak with intention or react emotionally. None of these choices feel powerful alone, but together they build direction. Destiny is not designed in dramatic moments, it is shaped in quiet routines. The danger of small choices is that they feel harmless. Skipping one workout does not ruin your health. Ignoring one opportunity does not destroy your future. Delaying one decision does not look like failure, but repeated daily, these choices compound. Just as interest grows money, habits grow outcomes. What feels small today becomes heavy tomorrow. Consistency is what turns effort into identity. When you repeatedly choose growth, you don't just get better at something, you become someone different. A person who reads daily becomes a thinker. A person who practices daily becomes skilled. A person who chooses discipline daily becomes reliable. Over time, the behavior disappears and the identity remains. People often underestimate how powerful direction is. You do not need massive effort to change your life. You need correct direction maintained over time. A plane is only off course by a few degrees, yet it lands in a completely different city. In the same way, small daily choices adjust your life's direction. Stay consistent, and you arrive somewhere meaningful. Success feels slow while you are building it. Progress hides because results lag behind effort. This is where most people quit. They confuse silence with failure. They stop because they cannot see immediate proof. But consistency works beneath the surface. Roots grow before the tree becomes visible. Stay consistent long enough and growth becomes undeniable. The same principle applies in reverse. Small negative choices also compound. Comfort, procrastination, distraction, and avoidance slowly erode potential. They don't announce their damage. They work quietly until one day the gap between where you are and where you wanted to be feels overwhelming. That gap was not created overnight. It was built choice by choice. Small choices are powerful because they are always available. You may not control big opportunities, but you always control the next small decision. You always control effort. You always control attitude. You always control what you repeat. This means change is never out of reach. It starts with the next choice, not the perfect plan. Consistency also builds trust, first with yourself, then with others. When your actions align with your intentions day after day, confidence grows naturally. You stop needing motivation because momentum takes over. Momentum turns effort into flow, and flow makes discipline feel lighter. From the outside, people will call your results luck. They will say you were in the right place at the right time. What they won't see are the thousands of small choices that put you in that place and prepared you for that moment. Opportunity recognizes preparation. When preparation is consistent, opportunity feels inevitable. Your future self is watching your present choices. Every small decision is a message sent forward in time. Choose growth and your future thanks you. Choose comfort and your future pays the price. The power is always now, always small, always repeatable. Life rewards what you practice, not what you plan. Big dreams matter, but daily choices decide whether those dreams remain ideas or become reality. Stay consistent with the basics. Respect the small disciplines. Trust the process that cannot be rushed. In time, your quiet consistency becomes a destiny that needs no explanation. And now the most important question is not what you heard, but what you will do when this moment ends. Because motivation without action is entertainment, and inspiration without execution is just noise. This is the point where your life quietly asks you a question, not in words, but in opportunities, habits, and choices. Who are you going to be after today? You don't need to change everything at once. That idea overwhelms people and keeps them frozen. Change one decision, change one habit, change one standard. Decide that from this moment forward, you will no longer live on autopilot. Decide that you will no longer let days pass without intention. One small disciplined action today can begin a chain reaction that rewrites years. You are not behind in life. You are not broken. You are not out of time. You are simply at a moment of decision. And moments of decision are powerful because they do not ask for perfection. They ask for courage. Courage to start. Courage to continue. Courage to stay consistent when results are invisible. Remember this, no one is coming to save you, and that is not a threat, it is freedom. Because if no one is coming, then nothing is stopping you. You don't need permission to grow, you don't need approval to improve, you don't need validation to move forward, you need commitment to your own potential. Talk to yourself differently. Stop speaking to yourself like an enemy and start speaking like a leader. The words you repeat in your mind shape the actions you take with your hands. Replace doubt with direction. Replace fear with focus. Replace excuses with standards. You rise or fall to the level of the conversations you have with yourself. There will be days when quitting feels logical. Days when comfort whispers and discipline feels heavy. In those moments, remember why you started. Remember the version of you that was tired of being tired. Remember the hunger for more clarity, more control, more meaning. That version of you deserves your effort today. Success is not owned, it is rented, and the rent is due every single day. Pay it with effort. Pay it with discipline. Pay it with responsibility. Pay it with small choices done consistently. When you miss a day, don't quit. Reset and continue. Progress rewards persistence, not perfection. You will outgrow some people. That is part of growth. Not everyone will understand your discipline, your focus, your standards. Some will question you, some will doubt you, some will feel uncomfortable around your change. Let them. You are not here to fit in, you are here to become. Stop waiting for confidence to appear. Confidence is built through action. Do the hard thing and confidence follows. Do the uncomfortable thing and strength grows. Do the disciplined thing and freedom expands. Action is the cure for fear. Look at your life honestly, not with judgment but with responsibility. Whatever you see can be improved. Whatever you don't like can be changed. But only if you decide that from this point forward, you will no longer negotiate with the habits that are holding you back. The future is not something you enter, it is something you create, and creation requires work. Quiet work, boring work, repetitive work, the kind of work no one claps for in the beginning, but one day results speak so loudly that explanations become unnecessary. Promise yourself this, you will not quit on a bad day. You will not abandon your standards because of temporary emotions. You will not trade long-term fulfillment for short-term comfort. Hold the line when it gets hard, especially when it gets hard. That is where growth lies. Years from now, you will look back at this moment, whether you remember it clearly or not, and you will see it as a turning point. Either as the moment you decided to rise, or the moment you chose to stay the same. The difference between those two futures is not talent, luck, or circumstances. It is choice. So stand up in your mind, take ownership of your life, commit to discipline, respect the power of small daily action. Build your character when no one is watching, and walk forward with quiet confidence, knowing that every step taken with intention is moving you closer to the life you are capable of living.